But my beats, they are hard.
All right. Hello. Welcome to another live episode on a Sunday night of the BCSN SportsWrap. Brian Fulford, A.D. Drew.
Back in the house.
AD. Yeah, man. Happy New Year, I guess I can say to you. This is the first time you've been on the show in 2026.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, got to handle some, had to handle some personal business last week. I actually was watching the show last week. Shout out to Ja for filling in for a brother. And, I put a couple comments in the chat, but I was not in the mood to be hosting a 2+ hour show.
I don't blame you. I after my busy Saturday, I'd be lying if I told you I'm in the mood for hosting a 2-hour show right now, but we're gonna push our way through it. Hopefully we won't go longer than 2 hours.
I hope not either. Hey man, I just noticed, man. I don't know if you did it last week.
What'd you notice?
Yeah. Is this the first time this is debuted?
I debuted it last week to start the new year.
Yeah, that shows you how much I was paying attention to the graphics on the screen.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? I thought I'd give us some. We had the last look for years. So
I've only got one question about it, Brian.
All right.
That is normally where the comments appear at. So what's gonna happen when we put a comment up? Let's see who we have in the chats. Let's see who's gonna be our test case buddy. That's the full comments. That's the scroll. Now, what about just the highlight comment?
Let's see. Let's highlight a comment. Lennon Blow. There you go. So,
it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It is what it is. What up, Lennon? How you doing, brother? It just is. So, I figured. I don't know. I'm still playing around with it. Maybe I'll figure a way how to move something. And then even with the scroll here, let's see. See, I had to adjust it so that way the scroll kind of appears and it doesn't completely cover the stuff at the bottom. There's still see what I have to still figure out how to do, Drew. I think I'm gonna have to figure a way how to adjust so that way the chats can be adjusted. I'm working on that. So that way our live chat comments, maybe I leave a little space on the right side and move our pictures. I don't know, but it's just something that I got to figure out how, StreamYard lets me. Because I can adjust the chat like that. I can adjust it so it's more of a vertical.
But then I need to sit further on this side if we're going to do
that. Right. Then I have to adjust the picture.
But if I'm sitting over here, then I'm halfway cut off on the Instagram feed. So,
well, here's a quick fix to that. Right here, you go. Watch the power of in-game TV. Let me see if I can do this without screwing us up here. Nope, I can't. Hold on, maybe it. Nope, I'm not gonna mess with it now. Hold on, let me see. There we go. See, look. See, I can move it a little bit. I don't know. See, I move it a little bit, but I don't know if I really like that. You see what I did?
I really didn't. Like you moved it up. The comment.
Yeah. See, I have to I'd have to move it. You know what I actually have to do? I have to move the boxes. I have to move the boxes and maybe make them a little different. You know, for example, like if I go to this, see, now there's more room on the side for the chat box. But then there's still a lot of emptiness there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, whatever, man. These folks in here did not come on this podcast to hear us nerd out about some graphical stuff, man. We there's too many 17-year-olds out here who can handle this for us, Brian.
Well, we need to find them. We need to find them. Happy Sunday to you, Mary 305. Thank you for being a JBM subscriber as well. What up, everyone? Good to see you.
Appreciate you, Coach Green.
What did Coach Green say? What did he say? What did he say? Oh, there you go. Wait a minute. I had it. Oh, you got it. Okay. Appreciate it.
Hold up. Coach Green, the same attention to detail that I just did is the same attention that I had when I was coaching basketball, my brother. So I'm sorry. And I hope and I know you appreciate that, Coach Green.
Coach Green said we talking basketball. Yeah, we got a lot of basketball.
The basketball, we gonna talk about them women that he coached down there.
Woo! Yeah, you know, I don't know. Is Edward Waters the hottest team in HBCU women basketball, or is it the Winston-Salem State
hottest
lady?
Winston-Salem is still the number one, the hottest team out there, but Edward Waters is definitely top 5.
All right.
Speaking of top 5, Brian.
That was a great lead-in because on today's show,
thank you.
What we got on today's show, Drew, it's a week 1, a debut of one of our basketball top 5 rankings.
Yes, we're going to start off with Division II basketball rankings, both men and women, Coach Green. Wonder what those Edward Waters Tigers going to rank at when we come out with them. I will tell you this, Coach Green. Edward Waters does appear on the list, but you're going to have to stay and find out where they appear on the list at.
How long, just so I know, how long are we holding that out till? Just so I can plan that mentally.
You pushing the buttons, not me. But just to let everybody know, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. Division I did not have enough conference data in order for us to put together a poll using our algorithm. Same thing with the NAIA teams. Since most Division IIs have played a number of conference games, it was easy to put together and plug those numbers into the algorithm and get a true reading of a top 5. The Division I and the NAIA would have been so skewed. Y'all always be talking about our computer. You know, y'all would have definitely been talking about it if we would have put those numbers out. But they ain't gonna talk about us no more than they talk about us in football season, Brian. So hey, it's a conversation starter.
It is, you know, and the hardest part during basketball season is making sure you get to all the good stories or all the stuff that is impressing, you know, those who are concerned, those who are paying attention. So,
and you know the other thing about basketball, Brian, just keeping up. When you think about it, Brian, we've got basketball games 5 to 6 days per week now across all of HBCUs. I mean, you've got SWAC and BAC women playing on Thursday. You've got the CAA playing on Fridays. CAA playing
Sunday.
On women
Friday
playing
and
on
Sunday.
The women playing on Friday. CAA women playing on Friday. Everybody's playing on Saturday. You've got the CAA women playing on Sunday, like you just said. You've got SWAC and BAC men playing on Monday. You know, SIAC is primarily Thursday, Saturday now. CIAA is primarily Thursday, Saturday now. HBCU AC is all over the place. They get them in when they can get them in. So Ram Nation says CIAA is all over the place. But that's my point, Steve. You know, keeping up with basketball, especially when you're trying to do a poll and give a poll any type of justice, is tough because you have games there's somebody in somebody's conference playing in every day, it seems like.
Yeah. It's something every week. God bless our friends over at HBCUGameDay.com and HBCU Sports.com. Those are the guys who they keep the content going, man, and they do a great job, and it makes our job, those of us who like to get on the air, the talking heads, and like to talk about these kind of things, you make our job easier. So we continue to encourage you to go check out HBCUGameDay.com. Go check out HBCUSports.com. Fascinating stories. Sometimes one outlet will get the story before another outlet, and there's always some interesting stories that one outlet will pick up that the other hadn't quite grabbed yet. So, I would definitely encourage you to keep them locked in. If they have newsletters, subscribe to the newsletters. You should be following them on social media. While we appreciate you following us, make sure you're following them because we follow them as well. So definitely.
Without them, it would make this podcast a hell of a lot harder to accomplish.
1,000 times harder.
Because about 70% of our content comes from one of those two outlets.
70. that's calling it wild.
Sometimes we do get some content directly from the schools.
Oh, so. Okay. Yes, we do. We do. All right. So we do we will get into talking about not only the basketball stuff going on. We know football is always on the mind, so eventually we'll get into talking about some football. I finally found a HBCU, I'll back up, an FCS related portal tracker, which obviously includes many of the 21 HBCUs in the FCS level. So we'll talk about, there's at least, let me see, I was just taking the notes down here. There's at least almost a dozen guys who have gone from FCS up to the FBS level. And then there's others.
Bryan?
What?
There's one name that, interestingly, surprisingly, is not on the list yet.
Are you going to say
we're going to hold on to that name, but
okay,
when we get to that segment, there's one name I'm shocked to see that's not on the list. With portal closes next Sunday, Bryan.
I'm not surprised because I think that market for his position, if it's who I think you're talking about, is still fluid right now. So, yeah. But, all right, I want to do justice here because as much as I'm excited to talk about the sweep that occurred in Tallahassee on Saturday, I got to give credit to the WSSU women celebrating record, making history right now in the midst of a 13-game winning streak over in the CIAA, the CIAA. We're talking about the Rams, who took down Elizabeth City State 67-38. Reading right here from Stephen Gaither's article here on HBCU Game Day, a prideful alum. You might know him very well. So of course he's got firsthand on this story.
I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Rams broke a program record while making it clear that the ultimate goal remains unchanged. They are now 4-0 in CIA play. This is the first year for head coach Tiara Terry. So the Rams beat Elizabeth City State 67-38 yesterday to advance to 13 consecutive wins. They had tied the previous record with a win earlier in the week against Bluefield State. Let me see, just kind of reading a little bit through the article here. I think that I just read in the chat room that the Rams have Virginia State coming up on Tuesday. I think is what I heard him say. Let me see. Yep. We got Virginia State on Tuesday. So that should be an interesting game for them.
Virginia
But
State first place in the North, 10-3 record, 3-1 in conference.
yeah. So very, very interesting. And I think I don't know and I know our friend in the chat, WSSU Ram Nation, can tell us this as we ask this question out loud. I'm always interested to see when you have this kind of success early, Drew, from a new coach, how many returning players there are, first off. And because if I'm not mistaken, I think she may have come in late April, may have come in, if I'm not mistaken, in April. So, I'm always curious to see how many new or returning players, and then you kind of match up with what they did a year ago, right? So, see, only one returning starter. So you got 4 new starters overall on the team roster. I think that matters as well when you look at a roster of maybe 12 to 15, how many new players, but you're bringing in a new culture, new attitude. I don't know. Look, who knows if it's scheduling that kind of worked in their favor, but the margin of victory, as it was pointed out in the chat, is also one of those things that is also something impressive to look at.
Yeah. But something, Brian, as much as we talking about Winston-Salem and let's give them their flowers, they're doing as great as they should be doing. Have you paid attention to what Claflin is doing? With one more conference win, 5-0 in conference. Believe they're 9-2 overall, if I remember correctly. Yes, 9-2 overall. And we're looking at a very interesting race down in the South. Claflin, okay, they've had somewhat of a easier schedule, wins over Morris and Converse, over the shoe school, Voorhees, but they're turning through the conference right now. So just something to think about. And let's take a look at it. On the 21st, they will be playing at that game's in Orangeburg, and the game in Winston-Salem is February 12th. So let's circle the calendar for those two on the women's side.
Yeah. And of course, the Fayetteville State Broncos continue to be a very good program.
10-2.
Hold on. I didn't even pull up the CIA website here.
I've got it.
Okay. I wasn't expecting us to run there, but all right. What's Fayetteville State doing right now?
Fayetteville State on the women's side is 10-2, 4-1 in conference. And let's see who that one is to, just for kicks and grins. The one loss is to Virginia State, who is the number 1 team in the North.
All right.
So got an interesting 3-team race early down in the South with Winston-Salem 4-0, Claflin 5-0, and Fayetteville at 4-1. Matter of fact, Brian, the South has dominated the North early because most of those games have been crossover games, with the exception of Virginia State. Everybody else in the North is sub 500.
Okay.
While everybody in the South is over 500, except for Livingstone on the women's side.
All right. While we're in the CIAA, I believe over on the men's side there was a streak.
Can I close out women? Then we switch over to the men.
Well, let's stay in the conference.
I'm staying in the conference, but this is CIAA women.
All right.
Going to Inkblot Sports, who is a great indicator of how teams going to fare out when it comes to the regional rankings and the seedings.
Oh, we're
just
doing
to,
that already?
they've got it out there, so I'm just gonna play with it. I'm gonna play the game, Brian. I need you to
Man,
play the
it's
game with
so
me.
early. It's
It's
so
so
early
early,
though.
but
Man.
early right now. Fayetteville State is 6. Winston-Salem is 7. Virginia State is 8. Moving on down the line, Bluefield State is 14, and Claflin is 16. As we know, top 8 get in. So just kind of let you know with the CIAA where those teams are standing early in the regional projections.
Okay. I do know that over on the men's side, because we did kind of mention this, Virginia Union had a bit of a streak going into their game earlier this week on Thursday. They defeated Shaw back on Tuesday, 75-61. And then they traveled, let me see, Virginia, North Carolina, traveled down to Fayetteville, North Carolina. I had to get my geography figured out here. They traveled down to Fayetteville, and they ended up losing 75-62 to Fayetteville State, which, if I'm not mistaken, ended I believe it was a 12-game winning streak that Virginia Union had. Let me see, do a quick roll call here. Yeah, 12-game winning streak that they had came to an end at Fayetteville State. Pretty impressive streaks that were happening there in the conference at the same time. I think it's hard anytime you've got double-digit winning streaks going. Always challenging, to say the least. While I'm looking at some of the standings, though, they're still sitting. Virginia Union is still sitting in first place, 13-2 overall, 2-1 in conference play. They're in the Northern Division. Over in the Southern Division, Claflin and Fayetteville State both have 8-6 overall records, but Claflin is unbeaten in conference play. And of course, Fayetteville State, after that win, now sitting at 3-2 in conference play.
What is Shaw sitting at?
Shaw is in the South. It's a cluster of a couple of teams, a few teams. They're 2-3 in conference play, 11-3 overall, though. So, I mean, very good non-conference schedule. But so far, a slow start in conference play. They're 2-3. But it's still a cluster because they're tied with Winston-Salem State and Johnson C. Smith. Both of those two teams are 2-2. Well, so they're technically not tied, just a half a game behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're one full game behind Fayetteville State in second. So, let's see, I was just flipping ahead to this week's schedule to see what you've got in front of you. Tomorrow, Monday night, you've got Virginia Union traveling to Claflin. So that should be an interesting ball game. Fayetteville State hosts Lincoln, PA. Shaw hosts Bowie. Tuesday is that must be a men and women's doubleheader between Virginia State and Winston-Salem State. Virginia Union on Wednesday travels to Johnson C. Smith. How about this? Virginia Union playing 3 games this week, Drew. Monday, Wednesday, and then Saturday. They travel to Virginia State on Saturday.
All 3 on the road?
Yes, all 3 on the road.
Brian, I don't think nobody.
Winston-Salem travels to Shaw on Saturday. So
I don't think anybody started off with a schedule as tough as ours, as we did at Morehouse.
No.
No.
We'll talk about that. It looks like a lot of teams. I don't see very many teams playing the King weekend, or at least the King. King Day is Monday, January 9th.
Well, CIAA is traditionally a Thursday, Saturday conference.
Okay. Curious why they've got those particular teams then playing the Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah. Looking at the Ink Block Sports projections, Brian, we've only got one team in the top 10 in this particular region, Brian. Of course, that's going to be Union. Union sitting at number 4, 10-2 in region record. Excuse me, 9-2 in region, 10-2 Division II record. Followed up by Shaw, who's all the way down at 15, Brian. Other CIAA teams, there's only one other team in the top 20, and that would be Fayetteville State, who has an 8-6 in region record and Division II record at number 18, Brian.
Okay. Good stuff. You mentioned, as you kind of mentioned about schedules, and nobody has played a tougher schedule than the Morehouse men. I thought that'd be a good transition over to the SIC. Explain a little bit about what you're referring to as you talk about that tough schedule that Morehouse men has played so far.
We opened the season with 7 of our first 8 games on the road, including 5 of 6 of those in conference. So that's what you call a tough stretch to start the season off with.
Morehouse currently 8-3 in conference, in first place by a half a game over Clark. 5-0 in the division.
Steve, you need to go ahead and drive down. We play Saturday, man, at Clark, Atlanta. So you need to be at that one, Steve. That's the one you need to cover. One of the two you need to cover.
Oh, that's always a fun game. Where's it at? Where's Morehouse Clark 1 at? Is it at Clark?
Yes.
Is that always the case? Is that always the case?
It tends to be.
Okay.
Because
any particular reason, or
the second game, Founders Day, our Founders Day is February 14th. And that game tends to fall around that date. So they try to give us a home game with Founders Day.
Okay. Are there any? Let's see. Clark is 9-1 in the last 10 games. That's pretty good. 10-4 overall record. As I mentioned, a half a game behind Morehouse. So I mean, amongst the teams in the Eastern Division, based on the last 10 results, Clark would qualify as your hot team. So yeah, like you said, that is shaping up. Hold on, I haven't looked at the schedule yet. The schedule.
I know we've got one game, but in between, I'm not sure what they have.
Okay. So it's fascinating as the Morehouse and Clark battle is. That's upcoming on Saturday, January 7th, 3:00 Eastern in the A.
January 17th.
What'd I say? Sorry.
7th. You just said 7th.
Oh, yes, 17th. Over on the western side of the SIC, you got Tuskegee and Miles. Tuskegee's in first, 10-1 in conference. Miles in second at 9-2. So a 1-game lead for those two teams. Both teams sitting with 11 wins. Tuskegee has 1 more loss. Both teams are 8-2 in the last 10 games.
Brian, I'm going to say this, having seen both of those teams, the top 2 bigs in the SIAC are on those 2 teams.
Woo. And guess who plays Saturday, January 17th as well?
Keep going.
Tuskegee and Miles.
That's what I said. That's going to be a good game. And you've
next
got,
Saturday's gonna be nice.
and when we flip over to the women, you've got the Miles women who are sitting in first place, and I believe Tuskegee's women are sitting in third place. Where is that game at? I'm just curious. That game in Birmingham or in Tuskegee?
Miles. Yeah, it's at Miles.
I'm surprised they haven't moved that game.
Ooh, why? Why? What's going on?
Last year they moved that game to the Bill Harris Arena. It used to be called Fair Park Arena. Used to be where they held the SWAC tournament at the State Fairgrounds.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm surprised that game has not been moved, especially with that being a holiday weekend, because that game's always sold out at Miles. Miles only holds 1,000 people.
Oh yeah.
And that's a fire marshal game.
Is that the game where the people are lined up in the hallway to get into the arena and outside?
The fire marshal comes, they lock the doors, and you've got a line about 2 blocks long, and they have to do the club thing at that game, Brian. 2 in, 2 out. 2 out. All right, we can let 2 more in.
Well, who's leaving? Anybody leaving would be crazy to leave.
But when they do leave, you are not getting back in. There is no re-entry. So if 2 people walk out, 2 people can get in.
So logistically
and they're gonna pay, and you still gonna pay the full price whether you walk in with 5 minutes to go or 5 minutes early.
So we come up with these great ideas when we talk like this, but how logistically feasible is it to actually move that game? And does it financially end up making sense? Because I'm sure you have to rent the facility.
That's the key, Brian. How much are they paying in rent? Who's picking up? Because you're gonna have to pay for security no matter what.
Right.
You're gonna have to pay your table staff no matter what, referees no matter what, the streaming crew no matter what. The question is the cost of the facility rent worth the squeeze? So I don't know what it costs to lease that facility, but you have to make a significant enough money, because you're not going to go over there to do a 1-for-1. It has to be financially beneficial for you with the ticket revenue to justify getting that bigger venue for those seats. And Bill Harris holds about, I want to say maybe 7,000. Don't quote me on that, but I think, but it's significantly more than the 1,000 that Miles holds.
But how much more? I mean, honestly, though, if you pack it out at 1,000, can you get 3,000 to 3,500 people in attendance if you're going to upgrade to a larger venue?
Yes.
You believe so?
On a Saturday? Yes.
Okay.
And the other thing you do with that is you make that a mid-afternoon to a night game. Maybe like a 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock start. 4 o'clock for the women, 6 o'clock for the men. So that's the other thing. Now, the other thing that you lose with that, Brian, in addition to having to pay facility rent, you also lose your parking and concessions.
Well, that's why I said you have to be able to balance.
That's why those decisions that administrators have to make. What is that balance?
Yeah.
Now, if the city of Birmingham gives you that facility for free, they still take the parking, they still take the concessions. That might be worth the squeeze on something like that.
Well, has that been done before? Let me ask that. While we pontificate about this, has that happened before?
What? Moving
that game to the larger facility?
Oh, it happened last year.
Oh, it did. Okay.
It just happened last year. And there have been other years when athletic director and head coach Fred Watson says, no, it's not worth it. So,
well, so look, and the divisions, you mentioned the women's division, that's in the West. Miles in first place, 11-1. 9 of the last 10 have been won by Miles, 13-2 overall. They have Lane and Tuskegee. Both are, well, Lane is sitting at 8-3 in the conference. Tuskegee is 8-4. So a half a game difference between second and third place in the West. Over on the eastern side of the women's in the SIC, we've got a tie in first place. Albany State and Edward Waters both are sitting at 8-3 in conference play, and Clark Atlanta sits a half a game behind them at 8-4, and Miles is just one full game.
You mean Allen?
Allen, thank you. Allen is one full game at 7-4. So 4 teams all within a game of each other on the eastern side. That's pretty tightly packed. And I just had to schedule the week. Let me see. Let me go to the week schedule here. This week's schedule. Let me see. Wednesday, Edward Waters travels to Allen.
That'll be a good match.
Albany State travels to Miles.
Another good one.
So those are 2, and I'm just spotlighting games that might affect the standings as we look at them right now. And then, of course, we already mentioned Saturday, the Tuskegee Miles matchup. Benedict and Allen on Saturday. Savannah State travels to Edward Waters. So, yeah, all of these games can be seen on SIC Network. So make sure you get locked in. There's always ways. Most of these games, I see a few that aren't, but most of them, 90% of the games are available on the SIC Network. Go to thesic.com. Take a look at the schedule. The SIC, give them credit. They do a great job of putting out information to let you know the weekly schedule and win the game. So if you're not following the SIC on social media, you should because it's a good follow, good information.
And speaking of the SIC network, Brian,
yeah,
I want to be the first one to break this on this show. It'll come out tomorrow officially. But did you know, Brian, that the Maroon Tiger Sports Network at Morehouse was the #1 watched network on the SIC network? More viewers, more impressions than any of the other 14 SIAC schools in 2025.
Hey, well, look at that, Drew. Way to go. Way to go. That's got to make you feel proud, make you feel like your hard work is paying off.
Yeah, and I know some of the people who are probably on this podcast have tuned in, so I just want to thank you for tuning in to the SIAC network and produced by the Maroon Tiger Sports Network to watch Morehouse athletics.
Well, what's the secret to your success, Drew, if you want to take people behind the curtains?
#1, quality product, and what I mean by quality product, there are some people who do what I call the huddle cam shot. They just turn on the camera and you look like you're watching a high school game. I'm just being real, Brian. There's some people that do that.
It is what it is.
#2, having some experience going into this.
It helps. It helps just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Having done this with the Black College Sports Network and other places. So I knew what I wanted the product to look like, Brian. And one of the things that helped was having people like you who I can call on. I have professional play-by-play and color analysts that come on to and do our games. People like you, Wilton Jackson, Sly the Sports Guy, Simone Stanley. And if you have not heard Simone Stanley do basketball, she's the Tiffany Green of basketball when it comes to HBCU sports. Charles Ward has filled in, Jamie Walker. I'm trying to think, who else have I used over there? Dwayne Walker.
Who else is in the Rolodex?
Dwayne Walker has come on. Rick Polk has been there. So, having voices that actually know the game and are
Mhm.
respected. And let's be real, you bring a little bit of an audience with you, about that much audience, Ryan, but it helps on the algorithm.
Okay, that's
Sly
cool to know.
brings about Sly brings that much audience with him
Bring some
when he's
people.
doing the
Yeah, they
game.
know Sly's calling it. They gonna hear a good game.
And not
Exactly.
only that, because they know Sly's gonna shout about too with with the tweets in the second
He
half.
does. He does. He
That
does.
that
He does a good job of interacting with people. I got to get better at that.
Yeah. So stuff like that, quality camera work. One thing that I am proud of, and I'll leave it at this, Brian. I'm proud that I have been able to integrate some of the stuff that I know and the knowledge that I know, and integrate students into the behind the scenes,
Mhm.
into the production, into the camera work, into the director, into the graphics, into different things like that. That's what this is all about. I've done it, Brian. I'm sorry. I'm not going to make it to work for ESPN, for Fox, for CBS Sports, or anybody else's sports. But if I can pass this knowledge down and give these kids an opportunity to get reps early, and then take that as a resume booster, and when they go out and apply to do this, should they choose to do this as a profession, they've got uh they've got what we call they got film work, Brian. They've got air check time. So that's probably that was my original goal, Brian. My goal was not to be number one. That's a byproduct of me focusing on those other things, Brian. We just happened to wind up being number one. Now that I am number one, y'all can't tell me,
Come catch me.
come catch
Come
me if you
catch me.
can.
Well, I'm very excited and happy for you, Drew. It's good to it's good that kind of information is shared because it not only speaks to the fact that you make and another thing we were talking offline, which you haven't shared, but I'll tell you a little. I'll tell you guys who are watching and listening a little bit of success to the Maroon Tiger Sports Network is the fact that they provide not just game content, but there's also other type of content that you can get access to, such as Drew, right? Like what coaching shows, press conferences. If there's anything I'm leaving out there, let me know. But it matters because I'm a fan of my school and I want to see and hear from the coaches. And so I say this, I'm saying it out loud here for whoever needs to hear it. I love the fact that our media entities provide post-game press conferences and video of post-game press conferences. But sometimes after a game, I should always be able to find it from my university athletic site. That's how I feel. And not just a little highlight Instagram reel for a minute or 45 seconds.
Which is cool.
Well, I mean, it has its purpose. It has its
Yeah.
place. But sometimes you want to hear from the coach. You want to be, and there's no better way to create the engagement if coaches and players are able to be interviewed or when you have that post game. I mean, that's all part of it. So, and it's challenging because anybody who caught your interview on the HBCU Sports Podathon, we know how limited and what you have to work with is, right? But there's got to be a balance there where if Drew can do it, it sets up everybody else to say, and everybody's athletic director should be asking, why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we publicizing our post-game press conferences? Why aren't we doing a coaches show? I mean, I'm sure the coaches want, I don't say all of them, but I would guess 75% of the coaches would love to do a coaches show because it brings exposure to their program. Now, if you're not winning after a while, doing coaches shows, you don't want to do coaches shows when you're losing. but if you're about 500 or you're winning, you want to do coaching shows. You want to talk to the people. You want to hear people because those people are engaged. They come to the game. They come to support. They help with the resources that you need for the program. Just saying, Drew's doing it at the Division II level, folks. And I would love to do a roll call of how many of our Division I programs, there's 21 of them, are doing post-game press conferences, videos. How many of them doing coaches shows? I could probably think of a handful, maybe. I would go less than half. I would go less than half. And there's 21. I would say less than half.
Well, I will say this. We do a weekly coaches show. We kind of got away from it over the break. Hopefully we get rolling again in the second half of the season. But one thing I do, Bryan, especially in basketball, win or lose, Coach Dixon knows he got to walk across to that table for the interview.
Yeah.
5 minutes. 5 minutes max.
Yeah,
and then he could go back in the locker room and celebrate with his guys. Okay, most of the times it's been celebrations, and then the rest of the day. But that's critical. The fact that he's open, he's transparent with the fans.
Troy said he knows a coach in Jacksonville that wants a coach's show. Okay. I bet it'd be a good show too if I know those coaches in Jacksonville. I don't know who Troy's talking about, but I do know some good coaches in Jacksonville. I don't know who he's talking about, so let me clarify that. But
is he a head coach or is he an assistant coach? And which sport?
Hey, sometimes the head coaches might send the assistant coach out there. I mean, look, the assistant coach knows what's going on. Shoot. So, shoot, it is what it is. What up to you, Chuck? Yeah, definitely. So good stuff there. But I want to, just one of those little things, one of those little nuggets. All right. You want to keep going with some basketball, take a short break and then come back with more basketball talk?
Let's finish this D2 and then we can take our break and come back on the D1 level. Early rankings for men's basketball. Tuskegee is sitting at number 5 in the South region. Miles is sitting number 7. Clark Atlanta is sitting at number 9. Morehouse sitting at 16. Fort Valley is sitting at 19. Actually, we've got a cluster right here around the 20 mark. Fort Valley 19, Edward Waters 20, Savannah State 21, and Central State 22. Just to round that out, we'll take it down to the top 25 since they're on the screen. Albany State is at 25. And on the women's side, Bryan, in the South region, we've got Lane number 3. Ironic. Lane is number 3. Miles is number 6. Edward Waters 13. Albany State 15. Tuskegee 17. Clark Atlanta 18. Allen 20. Benedict 22. And Kentucky State is 23. So that's just the South region early projections right now from Inkblock Sports, Bryan.
Now, where are who are the national services doing rankings? Because is that the Coaches Association?
Yeah. Let's see if I can pull those up right quick, Bryan.
Because I know we've seen WSSU Ram Nation had said Virginia Union was in the national rankings, and assuming that's what he was talking about, the ABCA. Is that the American Basketball Coaches Association? Is that what it is?
Okay, hold it. All right, the WBCA rankings for women. That's the Women's Basketball Coaches Association. I'm just going down the list, see if I see anybody because it's my first time looking at it. Miles is number 20 on the women's side. Yeah, Miles is the only school in the top 25, looks like. I'm double checking this.
How often does their poll come out?
This poll was from the 6th, 1-6.
Okay.
Receiving votes. Winston-Salem is receiving votes.
Okay. Yeah.
So that would be 25, 26, 27. Winston-Salem would be 28 based on receiving votes. So that's it. Those are the two teams on the women's side, Brian.
Well, hold on. I see Lincoln Memorial in there.
That's Lincoln Memorial. That's Lincoln Memorial, not Lincoln. That's Lincoln Memorial in Tennessee, Brian. That's the non-HBCU.
Okay. You know what had me? I saw. I'm thinking Florida Memorial, Lincoln. I was like, which Lincoln? Which Lincoln is that? That's out there in Missouri.
It happens. No, that's just Lincoln. That's just plain old Lincoln.
Okay, plain old Lincoln. Plain old
yes.
Lincoln. Okay, so those are the. So hopefully,
the Blue Tigers.
Right. Hopefully, with these added wins, Winston-Salem State. Now, wasn't this one of the things we talked about? Like, because of the fact that the SIEC plays so many. Well, I don't know if this necessarily applies because the CIAA doesn't play as many. They have some more room in terms of their non-conference games, right?
Yes.
I feel like Miles being 20 is probably largely based on the tradition of Miles basketball, right?
They've been to the tournament the last 2 years, maybe the last 3 consecutive years. Because the last 2 years they've won the SIAC, and they may have gotten an at-large the year before that. Basically, since the Benedict and Tuskegee dominating the SIAC in the late teens and early 20s, Miles has been the queens of the SIAC.
Gotcha.
Quickly going over the men's NABC ranking.
NABC, that's what it was. What did I say? I said something else, like the AB something, but the NABC, that's what it is.
NABC. Virginia Union is 21.
Okay.
And seeing if there's anybody receiving votes. Nobody is receiving votes. No other HBCUs are receiving votes on the men's side. Oh, let me take that back. Miles is in the receiving votes category. So that would be 25, 26, 27. Miles would be 29 based on receiving votes.
Miles 29. Okay.
Yes. So there you have it, Brian.
All right. I want to do when we come back.
We're going NAIA or we're going D1?
Well, we can quickly mention NAIA. I wanted to take a look and see what I see here in terms of the rankings. So maybe during the break, that'll give us a chance to do that. We also, while we're just talking about Division II, maybe we come back and we introduce the Division II BCSN top 5 and then go into the NAIA and Division I news.
Sounds like a winner.
All right, there it is, folks. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, my BCSN1. Of course, those of you watching us on YouTube, the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page, my JBN Online. You can join that channel and be a sponsor and supporter of the Black College Sports Network for as low as $2.99. You know, every little bit, any cup of coffee, your support, your monthly support of the Black College Sports Network is a tremendous service that helps us continue to do what we're doing. So, every donation and every bit of help helps us. So we'll be back on the other side with a little bit more as we talk about the NAIA and Division I basketball stories from the past week and the weekend, as well as the debut of week 1 of the BCSN top 5 rankings for Division II men and women's basketball. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Looking for the ultimate cultural experience of 2026? The Zora Outdoor Festival of the Arts is where you need to be. From January 30th to February 1st, Eatonville, Florida will come alive with incredible live performances. Immerse yourself in interactive art. Shop from over 80 vendors. Take a journey through history with a new virtual tour app. And enjoy family-friendly STEM activities. Plus, don't miss the unforgettable R&B tribute to the legends. This is more than a festival. It's a celebration of Eatonville's rich cultural heritage. Visit zorafestival.org for tickets.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. AD, Bryan here. Good to have you guys joining us, especially shout out to everybody in the chat. Got a heck of a wild card NFL game going on right now for those of you who are double
all the
dipping.
games have been good thus far. All 4 or 5? This is the 5th game.
This is the 4th. This is the 4th game.
Fourth game. We got one more.
First 3 have been good, really good. The trend that I see, Drew, lots of points in the 4th quarter. So pay attention as you whatever it looks like in the first 3 quarters, expect there to be at least right now, they're probably averaging about 3 touchdowns per quarter in the 4th. Yep. So if there you go. My little hint. My little hint to those of you. Yes. How about that Chicago Bears game? Indeed. I was on the Bears. I was nervous because sure enough, I came in, I was like, the Bears, really? You're down 18 points? Really? So shout out to the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears. I guess they finally found a quarterback, man. Painted nails and all. Caleb Williams.
Was it the quarterback or was it the coach of the quarterback? because he was there.
Both. You know, hey, look, you can't do one without the other. If we've learned nothing about football, you can't have one without the other. You can be a great coach and have a trash quarterback, and you're not going to go anywhere. But a good coach can make a pretty good quarterback really, really good. And a good quarterback can waste away with a bad coach. Don't be nervous. Yeah. Don't be nervous. Oh, Emmett must be talking about that. Which game?
The Bears game. The Bears game.
Oh, the Bears game. Oh, yeah. I know Israel's a Bears fan. I've seen a few of his tweets. Oh, he's in Chicago. I didn't know you were in Chicago, Israel. Okay. You know, okay. That's what's up. Snowy weather too, boy. So, all right. I was just peeping over the NAIA rankings.
Thought we were gonna finish D2 with the poll.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. Well, let's do that. The BCSN top 5 computer rankings. Again, those of you who are familiar with our algorithm and how we do our rankings, we do our rankings as a computer rate. What goes into the rankings, Drew? Give the people behind the cupboard, behind the curtain look at how we come up with our computer rankings.
Well, basketball is a little bit different. For Division II, we're going to talk about conference record, non-conference record. A couple rating systems out there get thrown into it. Scoring margin, Brian, you know, gets thrown into this. Say it again.
It matters.
It matters.
How so?
It matters because, you know, if you are this is basketball. If you're being outscored, you know, it should reflect in your record. It should reflect in the strength of your team. You know, we don't look at how many points you scored, how many points, you know. That margin, it tells you how efficient your offense is and how great your defense is. That's why we look at margin, Brian, versus anything else.
Is there a cap? Is there a cap on the margins? Like, you know, beats a team by 30 versus a team winning by
it's your average margin.
Okay.
It's not like AAU where it's per game and you get a 15-point max.
All right.
You know, this is college basketball. Every game counts and every point counts. Because somewhere down the line, Brian, there's a tiebreaker where that actually matters. That's why we feel comfortable putting it into the poll.
How about the teams playing up and down, or is that really a factor at the Division II level?
On the Division II level, no. On the because those games are normally exhibitions.
Okay.
On the Division II at the NAIA level. Now, when we talk about Division I's, we're going to give you some grace with those check games in this poll.
All right. So with our Division II women's rankings, these are the teams that just sit outside of the top 5. Edward Waters in the hunt, Virginia State, and Albany State. Again, that would be the equivalent of, if this were a top 10, this would be 6, 7, and 8.
Coach Green already don't like that. I'm glad I don't have to.
Well, he wants to see the top 5 first. I don't think he's going to jump on us just yet. He wants to see the top 5 first. So before you get the phone call, it depends on what the top 5 is going to look like first. All right, let's take a look at the top 5, Drew. For week number 1, coming in at 5 out of the SIAC Lane College, just a point, almost 1 whole point.
Exactly 1 whole point.
1 whole point ahead of Edward Waters. Interesting at 5. Coming in at number 4, Fayetteville State. Wow, look at the margin. Very thin margin here. Fayetteville State coming in at number 4. Number 3.
A point, but on this, a point is big. That's like about 10, 20 points on our football poll. It's just skewed down. to where the top is at 100.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Let's see. Number 3, Claflin, 76.38. Claflin. All right. Number 2. Interesting.
Here we go. I think we're gonna get a comment on this
2.
one. Well, yeah, Steve.
Winston-Salem State coming in at number 2, 82.57. Interesting. And that means for week number 1, the number 1 team in the BCSN top 5 is Miles. And I think that's respectable. Miles coming in at number 1, nationally ranked as well. Winston-Salem coming in at number 2. It is what it is, right?
Competition, Steve. Competition. Level of competition.
Look, what did they say, Drew? You never want to start off at the top. You always want something to work up to, right? You want to be moving in this direction. What do you? Exactly. Well said.
Look at Miles' margin of victory, Steve.
Hold on. I'm going to pull it up here. Let me pull up Miles.
I've got it.
Oh, you got it already? What is it? Go ahead and share it.
Wait a minute.
Since you got it.
Wrong. I'm on the wrong
All
screen.
right. See? Coach Green, he ain't mad at that top 5. I mean, look, it is what it is, right? Eventually Edward Waters will see a couple of those teams if they haven't already.
I thought I had it, Brian. Give me just a second.
But is that saying anything, though? I don't know if that's saying anything.
There we go. Margin of victory. Miles' margin of victory is 14 points per game. Winston-Salem's margin is wait a minute, got to go to the other page. Keep going, Brian, while I find this page. I had this page.
Oh, I'm just waiting. I thought it was gonna come into the chat room all of a sudden. I thought it was gonna appear in the chat.
They're both competitive, 16.5 and 14 points per game.
I thought it was like a difference of like 5 or 6, 7 points. It's 2 points. It's a basket.
Yeah.
Miles. So I guess the issue here, or the quote unquote complaint, would be that Miles has lost to Division II opponents, while Winston-Salem has not lost to any Division II opponents. Their only loss being to Division I North Carolina A&T. Miles's losses to Division II opponents. Let's see. Who have they been to? They lost to the 12th ranked team in the country, Union, Tennessee. And they lost at Edward Waters. So,
it's going to sort itself out as always, Brian.
As always, it will. It will. All right, let's move forward with it, Drew. Let's move over to the men's side.
All right, we are moving over to the men's side, Brian.
In the hunt, this is the Division II men's rankings, the BCSN top 5 rankings on the men's side. In the hunt, just outside of the top 5, Fayetteville State would be essentially 6. And Morehouse, just a smidge behind them, less than half a point, comes in at what would be 7th. So Fayetteville State and Morehouse just outside of the top 5 in our first ranking of the season. All right, Drew, let's go with number 5. Who do we got? Clark Atlanta. Clark Atlanta sitting in first place over in the East Division.
It means we've got a top 10 matchup this Saturday.
Yeah. And then number 4, Tuskegee. Woo. Tuskegee coming in at number 4, Tuskegee University. Number 3, Claflin. So Claflin becomes the first school that has a top 5 men and women's basketball program. Nice. We have to show some love to Claflin on the social media accounts. Number 2,
Miles becomes the second team.
Miles becomes the second team with 2 teams in the top 5 to open the season. Let's see. Claflin, Miles, Tuskegee, Clark. That's 3 SICs right there. So let's see. Number 1 should be, drum roll please, yep, Virginia Union. The Virginia Union Panthers coming in at number 1. Just had their 12-game winning streak snapped, but also nationally and regionally ranked. So good stuff there. All right. Good. Oh, hold on. You want to put that up there for a second? Yeah. All right. I don't, just let people look at it one more time. I think it's a good representation right off the bat, Drew, that the top 2 teams in our first ranking of the year are both nationally ranked teams. I think it does adds a little, not that we worry about the credibility thing, because what we always say is it works itself out. But it is good to see that that we have nationally ranked teams there leading it in. So congratulations to Virginia Union on the men's side, and congrats to Miles on the women's side. And then, of course, Miles and Claflin, the only 2 schools that have teams in the top 5 for men and women to open the season. Good stuff. All right. And then what do we anticipate, Drew? Do we anticipate next week being the debut of the Division I and the NAIA?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We're waiting more on the HBCU AC on the NAIA level, especially with the bulk of our schools playing in the HBCU AC.
Right.
So
now, speaking of the HBCU AC and the NAIA level, now obviously they do their rankings probably about every 2 weeks. So the most recent ranking is still from mid-December. So the new rankings, I think, come out later this week.
Wednesday.
Okay. So by next week's show, we'll see if there's been any movement. Right now on the women's side, Langston University is the only HBCU. I did a quick scan. They're the only women's program in the top 25. Langston is currently ranked 19th. They're sitting at a record of 10-2. Previous to that poll, which came out on December 17th, they were 11th. So between the December 7th poll and the previous poll, they dropped 8 spots. When I scanned through the receiving votes from back in December, I don't see any other HBCUs.
That would be correct, Brian.
Okay. All right. So now let's take a peek at the men's national poll. And from back in December 17th, we can say that the Langston Lions, who at the time were 10-2, were ranked 5th, which they held steady. They were 5th the previous poll rankings, and then they come in 5th back on December. So we'll have to take a look and see what Langston's record currently is. At that time, it was 10-2. They were the only HBCU in the NAIA top 25 coaches poll. And then as I scan through and go through the receiving votes, they are the only HBCU in the rankings. Anything else there that you want to add?
No, that's it, man.
What do we know about the HBCU AC schedule as it is? Have they start conference play coming up this week? Is that right?
They've already started conference play.
Okay.
If a matter of fact, I just had the HBCU AC. Let's see, conference schedules. Just waiting on my page to reload.
That's all right. All right. I will say, let's when you find something, maybe we'll bring it up after we get into the Division I stuff, because I want to keep us on track. Looking at our time, still want to make sure we get time to go through some of the latest football portal news and transactions that have happened there. So I'm gonna jump right into Division I action. Probably one of the biggest stories coming out of the weekend was probably on the women's side, as the two preseason #1 programs in the MEAC and the SWAC both lost on Saturday. I'm sure many people will look at those and call them a bit of a upset. But I think both Howard University in the MEAC and Southern University in the SWAC were on the road. Howard was on this. Let me see. I think Howard was on the road. Was Howard on the road? Yeah, Howard was on the road at Maryland Eastern Shore, I believe. Southern was on the road at Florida A&M on Saturday. Give me a second here. Looking here, reading from out of HBCUSports.com. Chris Stevens, senior forward Brianna Barnes scored a basket with 1:29 left in the fourth quarter, served as the difference maker as the Fighting Hawks stunned preseason conference favorite Howard University 62-56. Delaware State Maryland Eastern Shore moves to 3-0 in MEAC play and 9-10 on the season, and currently sit in first place after the win. Barnes' winning basket came off a steal by Kalia Perry, who found the senior for two of her game-high 22 points. which would end up giving, at that point in the game, it gave Maryland Eastern Shore a 55-53 lead. Howard, with the loss, drops to 12-7 overall, 2-1 in MEAC play. As I pull up my MEAC Sports page here in a second. And then moving over into the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Preseason favorite Southern University, who was 3-0 coming into Tallahassee, Florida, after just having beat Bethune-Cookman on Thursday, took on a 1-1 Rattler squad, again, that had just beat Grambling State on Thursday. Of course, had a heartbreaking loss last Saturday at Bethune-Cookman. But this was a game that Florida A&M, who trailed 31-28 at the half, outscored Southern 16-10 in the fourth quarter. Florida A&M trailed by 3 going into the fourth quarter, managed to outscore Southern. And I will tell you, I did catch probably about the fourth quarter of that game. I had a busy day Saturday. But the one thing I will tell you is there was a stretch where Southern didn't put the ball in the basket for about 4 minutes late in the ball game. As Florida A&M, if I go back and look at the play-by-play in the fourth, I think there was a point where, let me see if I can find it here, where Florida A&M's lead, the lead had grown to, really what's crazy is the lead only grew to about 4 points, Drew. But let me see. I'm trying to find this stretch here where Southern didn't score a bucket. Let's see. Southern scored a bucket. Let's see. All right. Southern scored a bucket at the 7:40 mark to go up by 4 points. And they did not score another basket. Let's see. Until the 26-second mark.
Wow.
I want to make sure I say that right, because it was a long stretch. I didn't think it was that long a stretch, though. Hold on. Yeah, it was. It was. They went up 52-48 with 7:40 to play, right? And then sure enough, I'm scrolling through. I'm just going back to the play-by-play because I knew it was a stretch of about 4 minutes, but it was even longer than that. Yeah, did not score another basket until 26 seconds left in the contest. And a crazy part is, during that stretch, FAMU, let me see, at that point, now this is the crazy part, that this game was not as big of a blowout as it could have been, because FAMU did not really put them away. I mean, I said they scored 52 points. FAMU had 48, so FAMU had only grew the lead to an 8-0 run before Southern hit a pair of free throws to cut the deficit to 2. And then, fortunately, Florida A&M was able to convert a pair of free throws down the stretch and hold on to the, but yeah, I mean, outside of a 3-pointer with 8 seconds left in the contest, Southern made 1 field goal, Drew, in the final 7 minutes and 20 seconds. 7:40. Nope, let me say it right. So it's 10 minutes. So yeah. One field goal in the final 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Wow. So Southern should have put them away when they had a chance. Well, I mean, I don't know if Southern could put them away. That was the one thing. I mean, Florida A&M actually has played very good defense of late. If any of you got a chance to catch our show with Liv for Hoops on Wednesdays, O&G Strike Zone, she came on and we talked about Grambling State, who came to Florida A&M on Thursday, and then Florida A&M playing Southern. The Rattlers played two very close, competitive, defensively tough ball games. And that's how they won those games. And they didn't allow Grambling to run them out of the gym. And Southern, look, we'll go back. I mean, you Southern folks know a year ago, Southern was down 4. I've got it's foggy in my head, but if you remember last year, Southern stole a loss away, or however you want to say it. They snatched a victory from the jaws of defeat, because there was a 4-point play that essentially gave Southern, I think it was down 4, tied the game up, and then somehow FAMU couldn't inbound the ball. There was a crazy turnover late in the ball game. Anyway, it was a game in which Florida A&M pretty much had Southern beat, and Southern snatched a victory from a team that really had struggles closing games last year. Well, that doesn't seem to be as much. Well, let's just say they're working on that. I'll say that they already lost the game in a horrible fashion late. But yeah, so
but damn all that, Brian. The story is not on the women's side when it comes to this swing, Brian.
It's not?
No.
Where
the
is
story is tomorrow night.
Okay.
When Grambling men come in to face Florida A&M. And one coach, Patrick Crary, returns to the scene of the crime, i.e. Tallahassee, where he feels that he was done so wrong. was robbed. Yes.
He was robbed of a secured contract, no lie.
And a couple and some ducats.
Yeah, I'm sure security. Although he's probably making more at Grambling.
That's the one that we need to be watching, Brian.
Yeah, Grambling lost to Bethune-Cookman on Saturday. That was their first conference loss after winning 2 the previous weekend, the previous Saturday, Monday. And so now they come in a little more edgy, and those that we know.
Thanks, Bethune.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Bethune. Thanks for that, because
thanks, Reggie.
If Coach Crary he didn't need any extra motivation, but now he doesn't lose too many 2 games in it. Not too many times you're gonna catch him on 2-game losing streaks. He doesn't like those, so it'll be a good test. So you got the whole history there with Crary coming in. You've got a 2-1 record coming in for Charlie Ward, who's got his team playing well. Let me see. I'm gonna read this comment here. I saved this one from Tim Young on Facebook. Asking me, do I have any heart for bulletin board material for tomorrow's game against FAMU after what happened in Daytona on Saturday? Well, I don't follow you, Tim. I'm not giving Coach Crary any extra motivation. He doesn't need to hear anything from me. And I have advised Rattler Nation, don't you give no bulletin board material to this man. Let this man be edgy already. He's already going to be edgy.
Yeah, already coach on the edge.
Exactly. He's already
He's one of the most
edgy.
fiery, passionate coaches that I've seen.
Exactly. And he
when
already
he was on
lost.
our side, it was cool.
We loved it. We loved it.
Yeah. And,
So,
and let's be real. This is a contrast of just styles because Coach Ward, mild mannered. Coach Crary, fire and brimstones, you know. So it's going to be an interesting it's going to be an interesting dynamic.
Well, the one thing I'll say, Grambling has one of the hypes about Grambling is Grambling they want to go to the rim, they want to finish hard, finish strong, and they want to shoot the three. Now, the one thing I will say is that this is a pretty good FAMU team defensively. And FAMU's got some guys. They got some ballers. They got some guys who are not going to back down. So, if the Grambling State players take on the personality of their coach, right? I'll tell you, they will be met with a group of FAMU ball players who are not going to back down from the challenge. And I hope it's a great crowd. That's all I'm going to say. I hope it's a great crowd. You know, so that's one of the feature games in the SWAC.
Well, Brian, I got a bone to pick before we move off this game.
Yeah.
Why is this game not listed on SWAC TV yet?
How do you know it's not listed on SWAC TV?
Because I'm looking at SWAC TV, tv.swac.org, and
really, it's supposed to be on SWAC TV. The game is going to be on SWAC TV.
They've got two games listed on the 12th, and those two games listed are Jackson State, Alabama A&M, and Southern Bethune. Those are the games listed on SWAC TV to occur tomorrow.
No, if you go to the SWAC website under the schedule for tomorrow,
click the link.
Let me see. Click the link.
Click the video link, and you'll see
SWAC
what I'm talking
TV.
about.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. That means it hadn't been programmed yet. I'm assuming that's how that works. You know,
we got to do better.
Yeah,
not just FAMU, but all of our institutions, because there are how many games scheduled tomorrow, Brian? 6 games scheduled tomorrow. Only 2 of them are listed.
Yeah, I don't know why all of these aren't listed. I don't know if that's a SWAC TV thing or if that's a FAMU thing. I'll have to investigate and ask some questions and find out why that isn't. But the game is a 6 o'clock tip off. I'm not a fan.
It's 7 o'clock listed on the FAMU website.
So
6 o'clock. You forgot the SWAC.
No, the SWAC website. The SWAC website says 6 Eastern.
Well, it's listed as 7 Eastern on the FAMU's website because the SWAC's website native time is Central Time Zone.
But they do list those Central and Eastern though. For example, they list Bethune-Cookman game starting at 6 Eastern against Southern. The FAMU game against Grambling is. I'm just reading off what the website says, Drew. I get what you're saying. I'm aware that the SWAC office is in the Central Time Zone. I'm just reading what's here. So if that is inaccurate, then there's another issue in communication. You know, so
what time is the Bethune game listed for, Brian?
At the same time as the FAMU Grambling. 6 Eastern.
Just for kicks and grins, I'm going to the website that I never go to just to see what time this game is listed, Brian.
Yeah. Well, the game will be on SWAC TV, ladies and gentlemen. So get your popcorn.
And it's listed at 7 o'clock on Bethune's website also.
All right. So Look, I don't know what to tell y'all. Be ready for 6 o'clock, and then if it comes on later, I agree with you 100%, JT. There shouldn't be confusion like this. I'm curious now myself. Is it a 7 o'clock or is it a 6 o'clock? Hold on. Let me go. I just retweeted. Let me see what I retweeted from FAMU earlier, doggone it. Because I know I retweeted something. So let me see. Let me see what I got here.
Edwin, these are the type problems. These are type problems we don't have on the Maroon Tiger Sports Network. That's why we number one.
Drew, you're doing too much.
Brian, when I stop telling the truth,
okay.
you know.
So according to Florida A&M University, right, the game is a 7 p.m. tip-off. All right. Don't set who up for disappointments. I expect a close competitive game. That's all I'm going to say. Expecting a close competitive ball game. The real story, though, in the SWAC, though, on the men's side, is UAPB. The Golden Lions are currently 3-0 in conference play. After picking up a 74-66 win at Texas Southern. Arkansas Pine Bluff is 3-0, Drew. Texas Southern is 0-3.
Who?
Yes, Arkansas Pine Bluff, UAPB, the Golden Lions.
On which side?
The men.
On the men? Now, Brian, back in October, if you told me the women were 3-0, I would believe you. I would honestly believe you. But you know, this is the new day and age. That is one that goes up under the radar, Brian.
They are sitting. They're unbeaten at 3-0. Behind them, Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State, who are 2-0. UAPB has won 5 games in a row. They're currently 6-10 overall. And I was curious. I did a dive just to kind of look at UAPB statistically within the conference. Now, of course, this is all skewed because most teams have played is 3 games. The least you played is 2. So everyone's either played 2 or 3 games so far, right? And then after tomorrow night, it'll either be 3 or 4. But what I find impressive, and now after putting up a pair of 90-point games last weekend and then beating Texas Southern again. Did I mention Texas Southern in their standings, Drew?
0-3.
0-3, yeah, 0-3.
Yeah,
we're not used to that. We're not used to that, right? That is odd.
Johnny Jones.
But yeah, looking at conference only stats, Arkansas Pine Bluff leading the league in points scored, scoring 86-3 in conference games. Defensively allowing 76, but when you go to the margin, they're number 1 in the margin, the only team with a 10-point margin right now in their 3 games.
Can I put stop sign? What's one of our metrics in our
margin?
Okay, margin. Keep going. I just want to emphasize that.
Another impressive stat about UAPB so far. Team field goal percentage. Drew, it's 50% in conference games right now.
How many threes are they shooting?
Okay, I'm glad you asked me. Let me go to the 3-point field goal. They are number 1 in 3-point field goal percentage, 46.6% from the arc.
Okay. That number could be misleading. Can I? And I'm not looking at it. So field goal attempts. Where are they ranking field goal attempts from behind the arc?
They are 4th in the conference.
So they're taking a lot of threes and making a lot of threes.
4th in the conference in terms of attempts, number 1 in makes. That's why 46%. But also equally impressive is their defensive three-point range. They are number 2 defending the three-point arc. Guess who number 1 is? FAMU. FAMU is number 1. And guess who's number 2 in team three-point field goal percentage offensive coming into Tallahassee on Monday?
Grambling.
So that's going to be an interesting dynamic. The team who has the team who has the 3rd best three-point field goal percentage going up against the team with the best defensive three-point field goal percentage. But anyway, let me go to a couple other stats for UAPB. Why they're so well right now. At the free throw line, shooting 75% at the free throw line. Let me see.
Can you give me something, Brian? How about turnovers?
Okay. Let me see.
Turnover ratio. Give me something, Brian.
They're number 2 in the league in assist to turnover ratio. Look, dog, Drew, if there was a
rebound, give me something. Rebound.
Top three. Dude, this team is statistically dominating right now. And I'll tell you, I wish I could find it. If there was a market for UAPB right now to win the SWAC, I would be throwing pizza money and coffee money on it right now because short of any injuries, they look really good right now. Really good. Let me see who they have upcoming tomorrow. Prairie View. So they travel to Prairie View.
Byron Smith.
I think that's on SWAC TV. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. I think. It says video. Let me go to the video link. Does SWAC TV come up? Well, it's not there. So I don't know whether it'll be on SWAC TV or not. I wish I could say it was.
We got to do better.
Yeah, we got to do better. Alcorn State got a big win, 64-62 over Alabama A&M. Valley lost by 1 to Prairie View, 70-69. On the women's side of things, we already mentioned the FAMU game over Southern. That's not how that works, EA. That's not how that works. EA doesn't know how that works. You're not giving me any odds on that, EA. He's stupid. I wish I could calculate.
Brian, that's how we bet in the barbershop.
Yeah, I know. That's how we bet in the barbershop. No, that's not how it works. I don't mess around in barbershop bets no more. That's if you just want to borrow $100, ask me. Let me see. Over on the women's side, Jackson State defeated Alabama State 62-54. Mississippi Valley State's women 80-73 over Prairie View. Remember, they almost knocked off Alabama A&M last weekend.
Who did?
Mississippi Valley State's women.
No, Brian, you gotta have that incorrect.
Did they actually win that game?
They did knock off Valley in overtime.
That's right.
That's right. A&M in overtime.
My bad, Valley.
My bad. That's why I was trying to make sure who you were talking about.
Yeah. Valley's 2-2 in conference play. My bad, Valley. My mistake.
Brian.
My mistake.
Brian, if there's anybody who's used to Valley getting an upset win, it should be somebody in orange and green.
Come on, Drew. Don't do that.
Brian, facts.
Stop it.
Facts.
Speaking of Alabama A&M, they got a 76-34 win over Alcorn. Texas Southern women 80-57 over UAPB, and Grambling State women 67-60 over Bethune-Cookman. Going to look in the standings right now. Southern, Alabama A&M, and Texas Southern all sitting at 3-1 overall. Alabama A&M has won 3 games in a row after losing that opening game to Mississippi Valley State. They are 3-1 in conference play. So
who's a game behind them though, Brian?
Half a game behind them is Alcorn State and Florida A&M. A half a game behind the 3 teams in first place. So that's pretty good stuff there for those teams. Of course, the women's, their Thursday schedule. So you've got, let's see, the Florida schools travel to UAPB and Valley. So that'll be a good contest on Thursday. Florida A&M at Mississippi Valley State. That should be a good contest.
Can they get some revenge for the football team?
Yeah, sure. Which also leads me to a Saturday doubleheader that'll be real fun to watch next week as Florida A&M and UAPB do battle next Saturday. Texas Southern, the Texas schools are battling with the Mississippi schools. Texas Southern and Prairie View taking on Alcorn and Jackson State beginning Thursday, Saturday, and Monday next week. Southern and Grambling do battle on Saturday. So there's their one game for next weekend. And I think there's one other rival game that occurs.
Has to be.
One, let me see. Nope, 2 teams are off on Saturday, apparently. That's very odd.
Oh, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, they usually play on King Day.
That's what it is. Yep. Alabama A&M, Alabama State playing on King Day. Thank you, Drew, for picking up on that. Yep.
Yes.
So that's in Montgomery. Is scheduled for Swag TV. Don't have a game time yet.
And speaking of King Day, Morehouse travels to Howard for King Day also.
Okay. So those are the 2
and
highlights.
That game's on Plus.
Okay. All right. Over in the MEAC, on the MEAC side of things, from the past weekend, Maryland Eastern Shore got the doubleheader sweep against Howard as the men got a 69-57 win over Howard's men. North Carolina Central got an 88-77 win over Coppin State. Morgan State got a 72-67 home win. Norfolk State went on the road and got a 66-64 victory over Norfolk State. So your standings in the MEAC after just 2 games, North Carolina Central sitting in first place, 2-0, along with Maryland Eastern Shore. So that's kind of interesting. We haven't talked about North Carolina Central being in first place in feels like a minute. So on Monday, the ESPN Plus feature game is South Carolina State at Coppin State. North Carolina Central travels to Morgan. Delaware State travels to Howard. Maryland Eastern Shore travels to Norfolk State. Let me peek at that women's standing for you guys real quick. Maryland Eastern Shore unbeaten, 3-0. 10-10 overall. Howard, Norfolk State, Coppin State all sitting at 2-1 on the women's side, with South Carolina State and Morgan State at 1-1. So good stuff. Drew, real quick side note on our conversation regarding our statistical thing.
Mm-hmm.
Another winner as the Niners go on the road and beat beat Philadelphia 23-19. So
you gotta learn to listen to me.
Hi, very intrigued to see how this who's the night game? Oh, I'm on the Patriots. Minus the whatever it is, minus the 4, whatever.
And then tomorrow is who?
Houston and Pittsburgh. And let me tell you what the metrics say, what you should be thinking about. Let me see. I don't even, you know what? I haven't built in what that number is yet. I haven't looked at it yet. But Pittsburgh actually surprisingly has I'll be on Pittsburgh. I'm going to tell you that now. Pittsburgh has a 1. I would have them, based on our difference in rankings, a 1-point difference. I'll be on Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin doesn't lose Monday night home games. Doesn't do it. Karen, I feel bad for you. Your Chargers are going down. They're going down tonight. Sorry.
Hey, Karen, I'm a little bit offended about this one.
Is that the name? Is that what they call it?
No.
Oh, that's just her name.
Yeah, that's her name. It's the MLK Classic, MLK Day Classic,
the MLK Bougie Classic. There you go. You guys got the upset last year, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Tomlin is undefeated on Monday night. That's right. I'm telling you. I'm going with the Steelers. All right. Let me let's kind of wrap up the show, Drew. I wanted to, obviously we talked about the portal is going to be closing by this time next week. So this is going into kind of week 2 of the portal, the football portal. And there's been several HBCU FCS players that have made the jump up to the FBS. I don't have dollar valuations on these guys, but this is just the names and schools. And I don't know if this is like who went first, so I'm going to just go down the roll call. Again, this is courtesy of Hero Sports. Hero Sports has a great FCS to FBS tracker. They do the FCS to FCS tracker. And then they have the FBS to FCS tracker. Yeah, so if you got all that, anyway, it's 3 different jumps that you can make. Sophomore Jalen Jones, wide receiver from Alabama State, is going to Texas Tech, where they got plenty of money at Texas Tech. Marquise Gillis, the running back from Delaware State, who I think he got close to 1,000 yards this past year, maybe 900 or something. He's going to Arizona State. I think there's an article that HBCU Game Day wrote regarding Gillis. Did you get a chance to read that?
No.
It's worth a read. It's worth a read.
I saw it, but I didn't get a chance to read it.
Yeah, if you go to the website and you look at the number 1 stories, it's the top story. HBCU fans should accept the new reality of college sports is the title, and it is centered around Gillis's jump to Arizona State. So it's a good read, but if you get a chance, take a look at it, and it does pose some interesting questions again. Also, Goldie Lawrence, Florida A&M, is a wide receiver going to Coastal Carolina. Josh McCormick, the kicker from Grambling, who defeated Jackson State, well, he's going to Colorado. He's going to Coach Prime. A pair of Jackson State running backs. Travis Terrell is going to Purdue. Ahmad Miller is going to Syracuse. So upgrading from to the Big Ten and ACC respectively. Safety Trey Mittman of North Carolina A&T is going to Georgia State. A pair of Southern players. Traylon James, the safety, he's going across the river or across the railroad tracks, Drew, from Southern to LSU. And then wide receiver Darren Morris is going from Southern to Boise State. And the last one on the list, Devon Slaughter, a sophomore wide receiver from Tennessee State, is going to Kennesaw State.
Brian, that's interesting. But what I find interesting is there've only been 7 who are coming from FBS down to FCS that are coming to an HBCU. Not that
that's week 1.
Week 1.
I think that number will triple going into week 2.
Week 1, but interesting. I said there's 7, Brian. 5 of them are at one school, have landed at one school.
Where?
So let me talk about the 2 who did not land at this school.
Okay.
First of all, coming to Florida A&M, Mike Peterson Jr., who's a redshirt freshman, transferring from Florida up the road to Florida A&M. So from Gainesville to Tallahassee. Also, Marcellus Tate, sophomore quarterback, going from USF to Tennessee State. Mm-hmm. Now, Brian,
Tennessee State with 2 quarterbacks, by the way.
Yeah. Now, Brian, I said everybody else wound up at one school. And Brian, this is why those folks in Mississippi are so giddy, especially those folks at Jackson State. Coming to Jackson State from ULM, Amarian Ware, he's a senior defensive lineman. From Western Kentucky, Virgil Marshall, who's a senior defensive back. From Eastern Michigan, Duke Clayton, senior defensive lineman. Also from Eastern Michigan, Messiah Blair, senior defensive lineman. And from Mississippi State, Jaquan Bolden, who's a senior offensive lineman, Brian. So Jackson State thus far is doing a yeoman's job getting the FBS to FCS transfers when it comes to our HBCU. But Brian, here's the interesting story. How many people are staying at this level, at the FCS level, and staying in the conference? How about this one? Zach Williams, junior defensive back, going from UAPB to Alabama State. Kareem Burke, senior wide receiver, going from UAPB to Alcorn State.
I'm happy for him. Good kid.
So
former Florida A&M Raptor, by the way.
Yeah. Jalen Woods, the quarterback at Southern, is going to Hampton.
Ooh, interesting.
Karan Tyler, junior quarterback from Valparaiso to Jackson State. Micah Gay. So you said Tennessee State picked up 2 quarterbacks? Is that what you just said?
They did. They picked. Yeah, you're gonna mention them in a second.
They lost. Oh, no, excuse me. That's a linebacker. Micah Gay, senior linebacker, went from Tennessee State to Jackson State. Okay, I'm going down the list. Omarion McLeod, senior offensive lineman, stays in conference, goes from Elon to A&T. Jamal Streeter, sophomore wide receiver, goes from South Dakota to Prairie View A&M. And
I see one that's not on here that was announced just yesterday.
okay.
Tyler Jefferson, who was actually the third string quarterback at Florida A&M. He made a commitment to Bethune-Cookman.
Right. Well, this article I'm reading from January 7th. So if that was yesterday, that would be why that was not on here.
Right.
Yeah. But
And
Bryan,
then, the Tennessee State quarterback I mentioned, actually, I thought about it. He's actually coming from D2. Dalen Lee from Winston-Salem State. He's going to Tennessee State.
correct. Now, Bryan, the one thing we have not mentioned, and everybody's waiting to see where he lands on all three of these lists thus far, has been one Mr. Andrew Body.
He recently posted a list of the schools that I guess he was
in conversations with.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting it. Let me see if I can find that listing here. I don't know where. Oh, that's why, because I spelled his name wrong. Okay, I'm sitting there like I was trying to find the listing of schools that he. Okay, here's the listing of schools. Wow, there was a ton of schools here. Schools in contact with Alabama State quarterback Andrew Body. I'm just gonna run through the logos as I see them here. Let's see: Penn State, Kennesaw State, ECU, Georgia State, Rice, New Mexico State, Bowling Green, Toledo, Army, UCF, Vanderbilt, Tulane, FIU, Charlotte, Arkansas State, Marshall, FAU, Notre Dame, North Texas, Middle Tennessee, Ohio, UConn, USF, JMU, Troy, Lafayette, Louisiana, Liberty, UAB, Louisiana Tech, Western Kentucky, Massachusetts, JSU is that Jacksonville State, ULM, UTEP, and Colorado State. That's according to his Twitter handle. I do not believe that he has released a narrowed down list. And I don't think I have seen I haven't even seen projections on where he's gonna go yet.
Honestly, who I'm surprised is not courting him, or maybe he's doing it, but he's doing it privately.
Oh,
Colorado.
Yeah, speak on it. Interesting.
I mean, at one point in time, his son and Andrew Body were considered the top two quarterbacks in the conference.
That's a good point.
So I'm just curious. You would think, because he's seen them up close.
He has. Yes.
I also find it interesting that after almost willing Alabama State to victory over UAB, that they're definitely on the list. We need us one of them.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to see FIU on there, where Coach Simmons is.
That's another
one. Kennesaw State is at
Jerry Mack.
That's Jerry Mack. North Texas just lost their quarterback to one of the Power Fours. I think he may be one of the top paid quarterbacks too. So, I mean, and he's a Houston kid. So that would be interesting. I don't know. My guy here said Franklin, Notre Dame and Penn State. That's interesting. Notre Dame has a quarterback in place, and even though they lost the backup, there's two high school recruits who are coming in.
But if you're Andrew Body, you're not going to be a backup. You're going.
I don't think you are
to compete as a starter, because this is it. You can't afford to be sitting behind somebody, and you're going somewhere where you've got at least a 70-30 chance of winning that starting slot.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with competition, but you want the edge.
You got to go play the odds. You got to be able to look at who's there.
And something that's going to a place that's going to be right for the style that you play.
Yeah. And while I think FIU would be interesting, I know FIU has an incumbent. And the kid who's at FIU he's going into his junior year. So it'll be year 2 for him with Willie Simmons. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good fit as well. Obviously, you're looking, like I said, that's a great point, Drew. I mean, nobody's going to guarantee you the position unless it's just really obvious. And a lot of these schools are probably saying, we'll give you a chance to compete for it. And, you're going to see what kind of competitor you are.
Yeah. You want a chance to compete, but going into that competition, I need to be number 1 on the depth chart. I need to know I'm going to get the reps.
That might be a little harder than that might be a little challenging. But all of that should play out during the course of this week. It's got to play out this week.
No, ain't no should. It has no choice.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys do have to make their decisions going into the week. All right. So that's the portal update. We'll see what other names shake out over the course of the week. Drew, what are your plans for this upcoming week? What do you got? What do you got on your agenda?
I've got photo media day for 2 sports tomorrow.
Okay.
Basketball on Wednesday. Basketball on Saturday. Heading on a plane on Sunday. Head to DC. So it's real for me. It's getting real. It's that time of the year, bro.
Yeah. Hey, we should start to see more.
And I think I've got it. I think we have indoor track possibly Friday, which means I'm going to try to get to Birmingham for that. I know we got indoor track this weekend. I just can't remember which day.
What I was going to say is I think we're getting to a point where we should definitely start to see these baseball and softball schedules start to come out.
Morehouse is active. Morehouse is live.
All right, good for y'all. I'm just putting it out there to other institutions that haven't put theirs out yet. Be nice to see that this week.
By the way, we'll be hosting the Morehouse Baseball Classic January 30th, 31st, and February 1. Wilberforce, Virginia State, and Rust will be participating in that. And, we do have sponsorships available for it. Anybody out there, get in touch with me if you are interested in sponsoring that event or the Morehouse Relays. If you have the wherewithal, you have marketing dollars available with the #1 network in the SIAC. Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy.
Inbox.
There you go. Good stuff, Drew. Well, again, we want to thank everybody in the chat for being a part of today's show. Thank you for checking in. Please support the program by following us on our social media handles. You can always leave a super chat if you're on the JBN online YouTube page, or you could just join the network, and that'll be a nice contribution as well.
I said Russ Bryant is actually Dillard, Wilberforce, and Virginia State. Russ is in the tournament that we're in the following week.
So how many total teams in this thing again?
4 teams. Morehouse, Wilberforce, Dillard, and Virginia State in this first tournament that we're in. And then we'll be in another tournament in New Orleans the following week. I'll release more information about that later.
All right. Make sure to check out the BCSN Pod Zone, the podcast network where you can find all of the shows on the Black College Sports Network. If you missed the Carlos Brown show yesterday, you can go download it now. It's there. any of the shows, we appreciate you. Go download, subscribe, rate, and review. It all helps out the algorithms. Yeah, that's going to be it. So thank you guys for being a part of today's show. For A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. And have a great week, everybody. And we hope to do it again next Sunday. Might even have some guests on next Sunday. Who knows? We'll see. But have a great week. Make sure to tune in to SWAC TV, the SIAC network, the CIAA network, and any other place that you can find HBCU basketball content. Support and enjoy the great week ahead. God bless everybody. Be safe. Peace out.
Travel light, everybody. We'll holla.